Hello, 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 good people. Welcome to Happy, Healthy, Whole with Sharia Farmer. And I am your host, Sharia, and I'm excited to have you once again join us for another week on healing and self love as a priority for us as Black women. And so today we are on week two of a Radiant Queen Empowering Confident Black Women series that is specifically going to talk about three different areas. We talked last week about the confidence in our individuality and our uniqueness and the importance of acknowledging, exploring, and accepting who we are as the first step when it comes to building confidence and being empowered. And next thing we're going to do is really talk about what are we thinking? What are we telling ourselves? And really the world of affirmations and positive thinking, and sometimes how it can be very important for us to be able to create a routine and a mindset that helps to boost our self-esteem. And I think last week we talked about understanding and accepting that there are some things that are out of our controls around societal norms and beauties and things like that. And today we're going to try to frame our thinking so that we still are honest to that reality, but also acknowledge that we are worthy of having a good and positive mindset and self-esteem. And right, so before we get started with that, I'm introducing this new segment, quote unquote, which is to heal or not to heal, which is either going to be a affirmation and or a mindset moment. And so I wanted to start with an affirmation since we are talking affirmations today. And I want to start with the one that I think will kind of connect to empowering yourself as a Black woman and just confidence in general is I am powerful. You can repeat after me and do it as well. And then I'm going to repeat some more as we go along. But I am powerful. I am strong, confident, and capable. My personal power is real and abundant. I stay focused on my positive and strength. I am devoted in my time and my capabilities. I devote my attention to creating solutions and to fulfilling my life goals and dreams that I have for myself. So really when it comes down to thinking about this concept of building your mindset, framing your affirmation, following my passion keeps me energized and highly motivated to do things. And so I believe when it comes to affirmation, it's more than just what you are saying. It's also about what you are managing. So things like I manage my emotions in a way that still acknowledges them. When I am sad or angry, I sort out what I'm feeling. I address those underlying issues around what I'm feeling, and I diffuse the conflict within inside me. And I restored myself to this peaceful, calming, and beautiful place in my mind. I take walks or play. Excuse me. I take walks or play in the forgive me. I take walks, and I try to remember this, what I said earlier, but mostly I take walks. I can't remember the other part that I wrote to it. But I take walks and I take care of myself in different ways. But I also take responsibility for things like my decisions, what I gauge as the pros and cons before I actually make a decision. I think about how I weigh them, what's the value of them, how important it is for me to also have that confidence in myself so that way I can develop the skills to make better decisions. I do things like take on projects that bring me risk and also allow me to assert my talent and my areas of expertise. These are all the things that I do that make me powerful. I cultivate healthy relationships. I try to make sure that people can count on me the way I count on them. I love and support my family, my friends, and those who I care for. This encouragement embodied by me can also be embodied by others. So I acknowledge that same love that I give and accept it and receive it. I am worthy of it and I am worthy of it and I deserve it in each and every relationship where I receive or give it back. I lead with an authentic personality, myself, and those people who I care about or actually team with or collaborate with to create new things. It is okay for me to stand out. It is okay for me to look different from the crowd. It is okay for me to have my true self. And so really I give generously, but I also acknowledge that I must give to myself to stay energized and to also have a level of ongoing acknowledgement of what I'm grateful for. And so I am blessed beyond any words that I could actually explain or express. So today I know that we just went over a lot of different things that I am, but I wanted to reinforce that beginning statement of I am powerful by acknowledging how that shows up in affirmation statements, because that's what we're going to talk about today. So today I acknowledge and accept myself as I am. My personal power and position for my success is in my corner. I am in charge of the life that I'm going to have. And so today, as we reflect on I am powerful as our first affirmation, I want you to listen back to think about how you can switch out those statements that I said about myself to match your real reality. So here's some self-reflection questions related to this statement. How does managing time wisely affect your personal power? What can I learn from my past experiences where I gave away my power? And who do I look up to as a role model for amplifying the power in which I know that I would like to have personally? So again, don't forget that for that to heal or not to heal moment, I'm also looking at our hashtag weekly, which is for the Happy, Healthy, Whole series is healing and joy. And that's HEALINGIN joy. JOY. So I'll also tag it here in our different write-ups for the podcast. And that being said, let's talk about today's topic, which is really about us delving into the world of affirmations. Now, most of us have heard about affirmations 1,000,001 times, excuse me. But anytime we're thinking about the concept of delving into something, is really going deeper, looking at things from the full perspective. And I'm going to share some practical ways that you can do this about cultivating positive mindset and what I think can be some easier ways and some simple ways for those who are beginners and or for those who are actively taking care of their mind, right? And so I hope that these components make sense to you. And if not, feel free to ask some questions in the comment sections, and I will jump in and try to answer them for you related to affirmations and mindset specifically. So what in the world is affirmations and positive mindsets? We hear it all the time. People are talking about it all the time. But really, I like to say it's about reframing and rethinking your perspective so that it is in positive regards for yourself, the world you want to live in, and for the things that are within your control. The phrase usually signals some level of exploration or deep dive into the concepts of positive thinking and positive self-talk specifically. So affirmations are just that. They're positive statements that individuals can repeat, can put on post-its and or put up in display so that they can promote a positive mindset and self-esteem and self-belief, right? And so really what an affirmation does is it starts to give you this path to create a sense of positive energy in what you believe about yourself and specifically about what you want to create for yourself. So it's a conscious way of choosing to be optimistic without being unrealistic and concrete language that is attached to that belief that you want for yourself. And so I always say it is important to make them realistic so that your brain can believe it. And so some things that you can think about when it comes to affirmations or how to frame them is to really think about, am I going to believe this statement? Right. So the second thing is, how do I frame them? How do I cultivate this mindset is going to be next, but how do I frame them? When I think about reframing, you frame them in ways that are realistic. So sometimes we hear, I am beautiful, I am powerful, is right. And then what you heard me do underneath that was create active ways that I could actually see how I'm powerful. I am in healthy relationships and they are reciprocal and they abundantly share with me. I am celebrating the life that I've lived through the success that I've created through my hard work. Those are things that are realistic and things that I can believe because I'm doing them, right? And so when you're trying to formulate or create the affirmations, even if it's not real in this moment, make them actionable to what you want for yourself. So for example, I am powerful. attach that to I am powerful. I work to develop strength in myself that is unique to my experience in this world. Affirmation, right? And so just like that, I am powerful may not be believable yet, but I am working. Even just creating that affirmation is the truth that you're working, right? And so making that actionable step is going to be one of the practical tips that you need in order to make sure that your affirmations actually hold some weight in what you believe about yourself and what you want to believe. So think about that dimension of truth. What about this statement is true? And how can I make it true, even if it's not as is, right? So I am wealthy. Wealth for some is success and money. Wealth in another is area of love and care, right? So I may say, I am wealthy, and then add to that, I am developing and loving a caring relationship with finances. I am honoring the money that is coming into my life by managing it, right? Those are things that I'm going to connect to. I am wealthy. I am managing love and support in a way that also cultivates love and support in return. That's still attached to I am wealthy. Depending on how you want that definition of wealthy to be, you're then going to attach to it something that's actionable and believable and that you're really able to do and or doing at this moment, right? So thinking about that as a part of showing up for your affirmation, right? Like not just saying I am beautiful and then not attaching it to I am uniquely made in God's image and therefore my hair, my smile, my eyes, they all reflect the joy that he put inside me. That becomes an attachment to I am beautiful, right? Because if I'm struggling with believing I am beautiful, I need to be able to cultivate an active way that demonstrates that that self thought that I want or belief I want for myself. So that kind of goes into our next one, which is cultivating a positive mindset. Really, the goal is to guide your individual thoughts in the direction in which you wish to have your life go. And so, really, what that looks like is cultivating a positive mindset by also emphasizing the power of one's thoughts, right? So, the power of one's thoughts in shaping our overall mental well-being attached with understanding, because here's the collective and also the cultural perspective that I need us to understand, is that this positive mindset does not automatically mean that you're not experiencing outside factors that are about oppression, that are about identifying who you are as quote unquote wrong just because of your racial identity or gender, right? Those things are not within your control. What you're going to do is cultivate an understanding that even though they are not in my control, they also don't get to be the only thing in my thoughts around what I'm capable of. So one of the things that I always say is I live in a Black body, which means that I am going to experience racism. I live in a Black female body, which means I'm going to experience sexism and misogyny, and I'm going to experience these things that automatically are out of my control. However, I am not going to define myself by those things and those thoughts of others. Now, will that mean that when I say I am wealthy, it means that I have to also add, I navigate racism and oppression in a way that does not internalize it within myself or my culture? Then that becomes I am wealthy, and then I'm attaching a true statement around oppression. It is still an acceptable way to change your positive mindset, have a positive mindset without dismissing the realities of what the world can be or could do to you. So really, when we think about doing that, is really about self-empowerment, collective empowerment, right? So I want to make sure that I'm thinking positive things about the group that I identify with. I'm thinking positively about what I'm grateful for. And then ultimately, I'm contributing more to a positive mindset around my way of navigating this world and it being realistic so that my brain can believe it. And then ultimately, the affirmation can then be something that allows me to feel empowered and confident in myself. And so the last thing before we leave this one, because I went a little bit further or longer than I've been trying to make the video shorter, including the mindful moment. So y'all just bear with me. I'm still working on it. So the last thing is boosting your self-esteem. So when we recognize that positive affirmations and positive self-talk helps to play this crucial part in enhancing our self-esteem. The truth is that our self-esteem refers to this opinion of who we see ourselves as well as incorporating positive language and affirmations about who we see ourselves or believe ourselves to be. And so this can be a powerful tool to help build and reinforce or excuse me, build and reinforce, or rebuild, reinforce. All right, build, rebuild, or reinforce. How about that? Build, rebuild, or reinforce your self-esteem in a way that is about aligning it with the reality of an affirmation and a reality of an affirming statement that can connect to that affirmation to make it more powerful and empowering for you to exist in your well-being. And so let's think about it from the perspective that these statements, in a lot of ways, are about exploring practical strategies that can help you to think differently, to build your confidence, and to affirm yourself. And so when we think about those areas, we really want to think about, what are we saying to ourselves? How are we saying it to ourselves? And then why are we doing this to boost our, and ultimately, how does it help to boost our self-esteem? So when we think about that, fostering this positive mindset and fostering a boosting of our self-esteem can help us to really build our self-confidence and ultimately help us to build our mental well-being in general. And I say this as a person who does affirmations themselves. The more believable, the more your mind believes, the more that you actually can have them invest in your growth and your development of your mindset, even outside of that setting, or excuse me, even within settings that sometimes don't see you as the true person that you are. Before we go, again, you can check out the hashtag Healing in Joy. I will try to review it at least once a week and try to interact with you. If you have any questions, you can put them in our comment section. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Again, I am Sharia Farmer, the host of Happy, Healthy, Whole, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. Be well.